we're back. I think we are back on the stream, and we are good to go. I'm just gonna drop some links over to Discord, and then we'll kick it off. Twitch. All right, cool. So a ton of things happened between yesterday and today. We'll just wait for more people to join. All right, cool. So we'll kick things off for today. Just a quick recap of where we left off yesterday. We'll, as always now, we'll look at the numbers, and we go to transparency, and we look at how many people we have on the wait list. We've got 120 people on the wait list, which isn't too bad. And we will go live with the app on Sunday. So it's gonna be an exciting one. I think I'm not exactly sure when on Sunday, but it's probably gonna be towards the end of the day. And I think I'm gonna be doing a big stream as we go live, and probably just do a big push on stream, as I don't know, wanted to do a 24-hour live, but it's also Valentine's Day, so I'm not sure this is gonna work out as expected. Things we've implemented in the morning is the news section. So we have connected WebSockets to a provider that's called Tree of Alpha. Well, actually, just before I mention this, just a recap of yesterday. Yesterday we've worked on the Hyperliquid implementation. So we actually have given private keys to a strategy, and it just trades on Hyperliquid. We have done it in the AI trading tab under global, and you can see actually the performance of our AI trader isn't too bad. We've got a 72% win rate. We have pretty tight risk management, but our equity curve looks cool so far. And that's the bulk of what we've implemented, the Hyperliquid thing yesterday. So this morning, what I've looked at is the news feed. So news trading is a big thing, and when I actually don't have enough credits anymore, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give myself some credits. I have a command for this to allocate myself some credit in the back end. If you want $10 worth of credit, you can join the waitlist. It's still possible to get the airdrop of credit. So I now have a lot of credits, and we'll be able to test. It's going to be enough for today. All right, we've got 10K credits. So we've implemented this newsfeed from Trees of Alpha. It's a pretty well-known crypto news account, and we've connected WebSockets to our infrastructure. What we've done as well is obviously add this to the capabilities. So now if you go on events and you go to news and geopolitical events, I think we had someone on the stream mention, go short BTC when when the US attacks Iran, and wait, I've pressed 2 times, but what this is going to do is this is going to enable us to have a strategy that will work on just this specific parameter. And so when you have signals, it's going to get, okay, you have a US attack on Iran, go short. And then if you want to trade based on that, you'll be able to trade based on this. So we're just waiting for the results. I don't think this is going to bring anything significant because we haven't backfilled the events. So that means we only get fresh data, and I don't think we'll get any results at all. But I want to show you, yeah, there we go. We have no trades generated because the only thing we have, so what the AI did here is that it filtered for military events, and it found none in Iran. So I can still go ahead and save that strategy, and we'll go through the strategy tab. If it wants to work. Well, apparently it doesn't want to work today. Alright. Just wait for a bit. See what's up. Alright, so it took a bit of time, I'm not sure why. But we can activate the signals for this strategy, as we said, activate strategy here. And this is going to pop up in our signals tab. There we go. So the cool thing now is if you have Telegram bound to the app, it's going to send a message across to Telegram, and it's going to go short. So that's a cool thing we want to do for the events. But now the cool thing is AI trading. So now you have this new tab. So what we did yesterday is essentially have one tab with one single, let's call it a bundle strategy. And I think a lot of the users will want to have an AI just pick strategies for them. And I think that we'll have backtester or like proper owns strategies. And then users will want to do their own bundle, and then like an AI will trade, will trade them accordingly. So you can go ahead and create a new AI trader. So I can say today is day 6, so I'm just gonna say day 6 demo. Go on next. You can pick the personality of the agent. So you can say, and what this is picking is the risk per trade, leverage, etc. So let's say I want to go momentum. I can create my AI trader, which is showing up here. Then I can enter, I guess, the brain of my agent, and then bind some strategies to them. So this is just basically linking the strategies that we've already found to the AI agent. So I can add this to the trader, for example, and this is gonna be It's taking some time, but this is showing up here. I can add another one, and then what this is going to do is every time there is a new signal that is fired across the system, it's going to take the trade. The cool thing now, and that's like not likely going to be live at launch, but you will be able to add your hyperliquid private key, and this is going to be firing the signals for you. It's not going to be there on Sunday, but I'm trying to think of how we can make it work, because there is a big legal thing about this. And the other interesting thing, and then it's really going to be the only feature set I want to push in the next weeks, is this launch token thing. So I'm of the view that in crypto people want to overly speculate, and that I think AI agents will increasingly become a large share of volume across the order books. And so here we have a good foundation to create great agent. The whole point of the app is to try and find strategies that work across a wide spectrum of data that we have access to, whether we're talking about news trading or correlation to anything that's happening around the world. Capabilities are quite thorough and based on on-chain data, and really just then we'll add prediction markets and stuff like this. But I think AI agents will take a lot of space in the crypto world and overall just trading in general, and that I think people will want to tweak their own agents over time, and potentially what we could do is that each agent is able to refine its own strategy over time. But my thesis is that people will want to have exposure to these agents, and will basically want to give them capital. So what you had back in 20 or 2012 was, I think late 2021 was I guess just Ponzinomics, but it was called farming as a service. And I'm not even sure it exists anymore. Yeah, it was. Wait, it was a crypto thing, but yeah, that was big in. I just wanted to explain. So, the way it worked is you have a vault, you deposit capital to that vault, and then you have someone on the other side that finds the best farming opportunities. Was good in the DeFi days. So you basically had just a vault and then a curator that was getting the yield. And that's what we're doing, essentially the same thing in terms that, and you had coins that were backing those, so that you had coins that would get bought back based on the profit, or it was dividend based. And so I think people will want to have exposure to those coins, and I'm thinking, instead of just trading utility coins have little value because they don't have buybacks. I think if you can trade the underlying, so for example, you can trade my day 6 demo coin, and it's backed by the underlying strategies and by the underlying profit generated. So the way it works, because obviously you need to seed the initial capital, is you would have something that's similar to Pump Fund. There we go, how it works. So one is a creator tokenizes their AI trader on HyperEVM. We deploy a bonding curve contract. And so bonding curve contract is essentially the price increases as we have more buy pressure and decreases as we have less buy pressure. And upon a certain threshold, which is determined at $69,000, we have the liquidity that migrates from that curve over to DEX. And then what would happen is that 70% or another arbitrary number would go from this pool of liquidity back to hyperliquid, like hypercore, where you have the agent that trades the capital, and then what happens is that the coin is then backed by 70% of the liquidity that's raised, and then 50% of the trading profit is used to buy back the token and burn it. And that's a bit of the concept. That was really a wild inspiration. I don't think this is gonna go live anytime soon, or potentially just it's gonna be going on a very small number of strategies that we think are relevant. So what's likely to happen is, as we go live on Sunday, the traders will have the possibility to create AI trading agents, to bundle strategies to them, but not have the ability to go on Hyperliquid. But what's likely to happen is that you'll have one or two agents that will have vaults on Hyperliquid, and you'll be able to deposit capital in that vault directly. And then the launchpad was purely for exploration, nothing that's too serious. I first want to see how good the system is to, I guess, just go live on Hyperliquid, because you're dealing with real capital, so you can't just you can't just go super hard, and it has to be bulletproof and very, very secure. And today we've added a lot of functionalities really quickly, so it's not. And that's going to be, I think, the full scope of what we want to go out with for Sunday. I don't think we'll add any more stuff. That's the update on Backtester, the app. On Proper, the app, we actually have pushed to the dev environment, so now you can access the prop firm on the internet. Like, it's not on local anymore, so it's a big update. And we will go live with a trading competition in the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be a very, very cool time for us. I haven't shown the progress of Proper, the prop firm, but I'm gonna be. Yesterday, I think it bugged during the live, but we will try and do it. I mean, show you guys how it works. I'm just trying to run the app now, and I want to show you the progress, and then we'll do some building together. Alright, so it's gonna be breaking a bunch of things, but it will be just fine in the end. Alright, let's see if we can get this basically overridden the port 3000. Oh, there we go. We actually have the client that's live. So obviously that's not the final UI, but we have one of our front-end engineer that's actually on it, and we have a big update for today. So that's the update of the proper interface. I wouldn't pay too much attention to the UI because I'm gonna show you the UI, and that's gonna be exactly how this looks like. But you have an interface that resembles Hyperliquid quite a bit. And the functionalities that we've built so far is basically a whole paper trading engine. So you can trade. I mean, we're talking about paper trading, but you can trade any. Wait, why is that? Yeah, I've actually gotten liquidated on this account, so I don't have anything left. All right, so I can't show much of this because we've just created the we just pushed the liquidation engine, and because it ran off, I guess it's a weird state here that we have. But you can assume you can open any trade, close any trades, put limits, stops, and it's going to be fields based on a replicated order book, which is quite cool. And then we will go live with a trading competition so that everyone can go ahead and try the platform. Still going to be the early days, but you'll be able to just test it out, and then we'll roll out the actual real execution on top of Hyperliquid. So I'm just gonna kill this process, and then I wanna launch the app. I wanna relaunch the app. So not this one here, but so we can have access to our actual backtesting app in the local 3000 port. Yeah. So it's still not running, but we'll get back to our backtester app in a bit, and we might even let's try and launch a coin. We will try to launch a coin on a low time frame strategy, and I think what would be cool. All right. Well, so what would be cool is when you launch, when you create a trading agent, the big limitation of Hyperliquid, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, is if you look at my trade history, a lot of our P&L is red because of the fees. And the thing is, Hyperliquid is, and you can see here the fee, but for any strategy that's on a 5-minute time frame, you can't really rely on Hyperliquid too much, because your net P&L, so accounted with the fees, is gonna be quite bad. So what we can eventually do is we'll end the demo of the progress, but then for the low time frame strategies, eventually suggest a lighter implementation. Well, lighter the perp decks. So, but we could improve the dashboard by quite an amount, but I'm not gonna do it just today. I think what I would love to do in that session as well is, if we can. So I'm gonna go and launch a coin, try to implement lighter, and have a system that, based on the time frame of the, like, let's say the AI trader is looking at an hour time frame, it's gonna pick Hyperliquid, and then below that it's gonna pick lighter. I think that could be relevant. And then we'll want to look at the UX of Proper. And so we'll go on Figma and see what we can improve, see what we can add on the, like, basically review each screen, because that's something I need to do. So let's create an AI trading agent. Let's try and see. All right, my AI trader is gonna be low time frame. Let's just do LTF trader, and then you want to have an aggressive personality for that trader, and then my low time frame trader will want to have low time frame strategies, so it's gonna generate a lot of trades. I guess the generation end, like the way we suggest items is not really good. So that's something we can improve right now on AI trading. Just want to make the process of building an AI trader better. Because today, let's say I want to tag a low time frame strategy I found, it's not really good. As we get more strategies, we'll be able to pre-fill each trader type with with strategies by default. Alright, so I think we want to do, yeah, it's just building now. Let's see if we can add this. We will try and, yeah, there we go, search for profitable strategies. So let's say profit factor on the 5-minute. Now I have those strategies now that I can add. So I'm gonna be taking this one and this one. And then that means my trader is basically, well, it's not working. That means it will get the signals and it's gonna generate the P&L curve, or the equity curve, if you will. And what we can do now is actually launch a token for it. So it's not, obviously it's not something I encourage anyone to purchase, but it's just a feature I wanted to show. So we have my wallet that's connected there, same wallet as I've used yesterday, and I can just deploy the contract, and then it's going to launch the token for me. And now it's actually deployed. If you go on HyperEVM, you'll see the token. Like if you go on, if you look at HyperScan, HyperScan, HyperEVM, you'll find the token that's deployed. So if you go there, you see, okay, the interaction was done just now, and then you can view it on the launchpad. So on the launchpad you have this trader, and then you can go ahead and buy the token. And then I've explained the process on how you back the coin with the underlying TVL, but I think you have some issues when it comes to trust, because you can't just migrate something over to, unless we do it with USDC. I think I need to look into the feasibility of this, but because ideally it's something that's 100% trustless. And then there you have the token. It's currently bonding, but you can buy the token, and then it's going to show. I mean, I did that process with this token, and then you can access it. But because it's not relevant for today, what you want is to focus on something else just now. I just want to make sure from at this stage that Sunday is going to be a good launch day, and then there's a lot of admin work to be done, more around, how do I make sure we have a good email sequence that goes to the guys in the waitlist, and then it's just figuring out the growth is going to be an important aspect. All right, fuck. Took the wrong coin, but it's just a fun experiment. Like all of that was coded by Claude, so it's pretty impressive. And you see here the token price. So what's likely to happen again is that you'll have 3-4 tokens. It's gonna be not trustless initially, and then it's gonna be trustless, or it's gonna be just depositing into a vault. So back to AI trading. The issue is my low time frame trader is not gonna have a positive P&L because of the fees. And that's not good, because it just does so many trades. Like I can go in my signals, so you'll see the trades that this guy does. But you see this guy here is a 1% return, and it's generated. I'm not sure how many trades so far. Is that only 2 trades? It's probably just, yeah, 8 signals, but the I guess those are double counted. So, by the way, as I'm on it, sorry if I'm going all over the place, but we now have the ability to yeah, it's not applicable to all strategies, but on the new strategies, we have the ability to. No, actually, okay, I'm not sure what happens, but usually, like, you will have the ability to walk forward, so to, look, let's take a forward view once it's back tested and see what would have been the return if you had activated the strategy, which is pretty cool. We'll go back to the AI trading and see if there is a few things that we can try and debug. For example, my low time frame strategy. Maybe I want to bind this this strategy to test. Maybe we'll try and fix the UX of this because it's I'm just not happy with the UX of this stuff so far. I think there's a lot more that we can do around suggesting strategies for the type of trader. So let's try and think how we can do it. Because, all right, so when I create a new AI trading agent, revisit the UX. So, so it delivers strategies. Well, delivers suggested strategies. Well, it delivers strategies already bundled. And overall, give me suggestions on the UX. Brain is a bit fried today, so I'm not sure I've got everything. Alright, so I'm trying to improve the, because I think it's gonna be a feature that users gonna like. I think we can make the experience a bit better. So instead of just trying to tie strategies that we already have, and see so what you want is that maybe the UX of AI trading should be like the new strategy. So when I create a new strategy, I type in. So potentially I want to describe my agent. So now it's making a plan, but I'm not sure I want to validate this. Actually, let's go ahead. I think the chat here might be a bit confusing as a UX. And once this is done, we'll look at the UX of Proper, the prop firm, because it's something that is of very high importance at the moment. We're knocking the front ends, and I just want to make sure we don't miss anything. And then we'll troubleshoot. I mean, just before we go to the UX of Proper, we'll troubleshoot the AI traders. See, actually get signals, and then he does that trade for me and does do it properly. Let me put some music. We're getting this UX improved a bit. It's going to be one of the KPIs, I think, how many AI traders do we get generated per user. And then we'll look ahead, we'll look into the actual prop firm and see. Well, basically, you'll go into my brain as I think about this prop firm a bit more. But the UX is, I think that the flow is really good so far, and you'll see basically everything's going to be live next week on this, so it's going to be it's going to be great. So I've got this agent that's running to improve my agent capabilities. There we go, I think. Test agent. Right, it's picking the strategies for me. And then I can just, well, I think a step more, it's, do you select the strategies based on user comments or not? I want to make sure that, I think the full flow that would be interesting is if you can prompt the agent to find, like, if we can get to a state where you have where you try and tell the agents do this, and then the agent is trying to find good strategies, so working in the background to create as many strategies as possible, and then running it for you. That'd be the best. Alright, can you now? So basically, you need an AI recommendation engine. And so, can you give suggestions? Well, can you prompt the user on what he wants the AI agent to do, or specific trading style? And then take this into account for the suggestions. Also add a get lucky button for the users that have no inspiration. Let's see if that works. And then I think if we can get this, I think what I would want to ask is if it's possible for the agent to come up with new strategies that that the agent wants to implement on I guess on his own, and then you as a agent admin would say, yeah, you can toggle this on or toggle this off. Or potentially the agent would look at the results of the trade and then self-improve. I think that would be a crazy UX. But I think in terms of infrastructure, you would need a separate service to handle this. And it's going to be very expensive in terms of compute. So let's see. There is also this question of how do you, if you have two agents that, well, one agent that has two trades on BTC, how do you, like, and one is long, one is short, you know, what trade do you take? I think this is another interesting question. Let's see the output that we get. And again, all of those everything that we do here is to help users try to find an edge in the market. And that, because I think in terms of go-to-market for a prop firm, is you want to have to build not only just a great UX for a prop firm, but fundamentally you want to offer great tools for traders to help them win. And obviously, being a good trader is more about earning your rights to the market and eventually losing, and just learning as you trade, but programmatically I think there is value to be found to give you an overall bias, especially on the higher time frames. And then the next prompt that we will try and potentially want to try to illustrate what I mean is Well, it's basically. Wait, let me check. C strategies autoloaded. Type PTC find. If you get a key, verify, get something correct, verify your direct strategies bound. Yeah, and I think then if you have an AI trader, if the UX can be self-improve, and then you go back and then the AI is telling you, hey, you could implement this or that, or potentially factoring news, so you change your overall bias, and you implement a very smart trader. So let's think about this prompt now. Can you think about implementing something of the sort? We have a base AI trading agent fed with initial strategies, but I want to make it better and have it self-improve, i.e. be context aware of the events happening in the world, of the macro data, etc., and then accordingly add or remove new strategies. And then keep a log on the screen about the thinking process of the agent. So it's gonna be, I'm not even sure I know it's possible, but it's going to be a huge endeavor. So let's see what we're getting ourselves into. We have a new UX here, which is pick the strategies. Okay. If I select everything, okay. So let's see. I'd be very interested to know if it's actually possible to have this self-improving AI agent. So you have presets of strategies, and then if like given enough context, it shifts positioning, and like take a different trade, or I think that would be a banger feature. I don't know if we can go as far as trying to have an agent make sense of what's happening in markets and then trying to resonate. I think that would be really strong. And I actually do think we're getting close to, potentially I'm just wishful thinking at this stage, but the capabilities that we have, like the live events that we have, stuff like the economic calendar, let's say you're long into FOMC you might want to cut that long, and then if you can have an agent that actually trades for like resonates and not just apply strategies, which I guess if you just apply strategies, you're not really an agent. Yeah, I would say full auto. Let's see if we can get this to work. It'd be amazing, an amazing thing, because then we can iterate on this, and then it's really just have a very smart trader. And for example, we added order flow, an order flow feature. I'm gonna show it to you. Unlock the order flow feature. Currently assume. And then if we can have this stuff that self-resonates, I'm not sure how often. I said 6 hours, but maybe it's gonna be less, maybe every hour or so. So that means the thing is, then will we have the overall same bias? I'm not sure. Let me show you the order flow tool. It's connecting to. So what order flow tools are is the ability to see more into the order books. So to see, the flow of orders. That's literally order flow, and then this is what a lot of low time frame traders are taking into account when trading crypto. So, for example, when you're, I don't know, today, not sure where we are in terms of prices, but assume you're at 67K. Maybe you're at 70K and there is a huge resistance at 70K. Then the agent might just be, okay, cut the trade because there is such a large resistance. That'd be the reasoning we can have. And that order flow functionality is pretty powerful, as you can get real hyperliquid and Binance data in real time. So you can be, very context aware. Let's go back to our AI trading for now. Gonna create a plan, but my assumption is that, let's say we add social categories, and it can read data from X. I think this can be very powerful. So we'll be stretched on time if we do the lighter integration today, and because I just don't think this is of any use for the release of Sunday, and we might add it, but after Sunday. So just getting this improvement for the brains of the AI. Maybe while we wait for this, we can review the onboarding flow and just the overall flow for the prop firm. So this is the dashboard. This is the dashboard. So we currently don't have. I'm gonna be, because I'm not doing the design myself for Proper specifically, but I wanna say, how does the dashboard look like if no challenges? Alright, no, I guess that looks like, sorry, I'm done. But that looks like this. So you'll have, I guess if you don't have any active challenge, it's just going to look like this, and you'll be able to purchase a challenge. You have the questions, which is good. I guess we need to add a link to the trading rules. Then you have the Stripe thing, which is, alright, not surprising, and then payment is there, and then you can trade. Maybe I'm thinking once you have a new trading account, maybe add a sidebar for quick access to your trading accounts, because it's otherwise I think quite painful to access. Because if you're here, let's say, you would have to go to the dashboard and then look at your strategies again, which isn't cool. That's the way it looks for the user. So you have really just a hyperliquid type UX, and then you have your risk parameters. And then you can go to the stats and the rules. The thing in itself is pretty simple. You can just put in the trades. Position management, I don't think is done very well. Analytics is where it gets interesting, because I think there's a lot to be said. Wait. You have analytics on the per account basis, so you can see your daily P&L, your win rate, profit factor, and then daily P&L equity. Alright. And then you have this nice dashboard based on challenge rules. Analytics is where I think we can do a whole lot better. Just before we go into it, because we have the agent, I'm just gonna check on the progress there. Alright, so AI Trader currently starts with a static set. Full auto every 6 hours. Alright, so we're basically building the AI brain. Just want to see if that makes any sense at all. Okay. Yeah, it's basically how I expect it to be. Let's see. I'd be curious to see what the output is. I think we can just go ahead. Going back to proper. Alright, the analytics is we have the P&L of the day. Maybe I would say we need to add a tab for tools. Because you wanna, I think the tools typically is gonna be tools equal news backtester dot backtester XYZ. We'll have like a whole panel of tools that you will be able to use as a trader to help you just get better at trading and achieve freedom eventually. Alright, you see your P&L activity, your payout won't be live before Q2. You see number of trades. I think we can add more granularity and we can actually ask the AI there on what typically would you improve on this. That's the analytics tab of for what would you improve. We'll see, obviously just different context, but I think we can still get correct output from this and build that successfully. I think you have the add most traded coin add P&L. I think we can add the P&L breakdown as well. The thing is, it's gonna be a bit too cluttered. Let's see what we get. Yeah, you actually don't have the win rate, which is not good. Win rate. Yeah. This is good with the drawdown. Have the ability to add date filtering. Yeah. Alright, so I think this is I obviously look at it a lot more seriously, but leaderboard is also cool where you see the P&L. I would say that's good for now. And we're getting the AI to work on the AI brain for each strategy. We have the setting account, payout, certificate, referral, security. Yeah, it's I would say it's well rounded. We'll have, I mean, it's a small thing, but we'll have. Hey, Yvonne. glad to see you join the stream. We'll have the dark and light mode. And then equity trades. Yeah, all that sounds cool. If you guys have feature requests for this, and I'm all ears. And the brain is being added to the AI trader, and what's going to be great is that we will be able to go here from an AI brains to the backtest app. Oh no, sorry, to the prop firm fairly quickly. And I actually will have to end the stream in about 10 minutes. I have a call just after. State management is going to be. No, if you have, strategies that you want to test, please send that over. I think you want to, if for example, state management. Management is required. What if the account has blown up? Alright, I think we're near completion of our AI brain for the trader, and I think if we can, I'm not sure it's a complex piece of work. I'm actually not sure how this is gonna be completed. Alright, the task is being completed, so let's see. I'd be curious to see what the output is. We'll try and test this on a low time frame basis. Because then this is gonna be as close as it gets to an autonomous trading agent. But you still want to give the ability for humans to give specific bias. Otherwise, all traders will trade in the exact same way, which you don't want. Like for example, we have CPI data now. I wonder what the, like if the agents can, ideal scenario is if the agents can check, okay, CPI, we have a lot of volatility, I don't want to cut into this. Like I don't want to be long into this. I think it's a big thing. think that would be a big thing. That'd be a good test case. Because the thing is, one can argue, okay, you can do that with CloudBot, but the issue is you don't have the data set and you don't have the backtest data. So let's see what we get out of this. Alright, so we have the brain. Okay, so an example of what I want is, for instance, we have CPA data release now. Now the agent should know what's the correlation between T minus X on CPI release and the price action, and take actions ahead. How would that be possible? So it would have to be an incredibly context-aware agent, but that I think is going to enable us to have the best performance possible, and something that is getting us as close as possible to a very good trader. It's this is a big, I expect this to be a big piece of work. Okay. Because if you're running a cycle, a brain cycle every 6 hours, maybe it has to be every 1 hour, I'm not sure. Because if every 1 hour you're checking for the news, etc., and then you're taking decisions based on that, then I feel you have a pretty good agent. Like someone that can actually try and beat the market. Let's see, I have a call in I have to get off in about 5 minutes. But I think working on this is going to be the next big piece of work. I just wonder how expensive it is going to be in compute. So I wonder how you can build something of the sort. Honestly, because it's going to take some time, like a lot more time to actually get started, we'll end the stream now, and I'll report tomorrow, and we'll do a stream tomorrow to see how far we got there in the brain. I suspect we'll get pretty far, but yeah, can't give that promise just yet. So thanks a lot for tuning in to today's day 6, right? So we'll keep it going, and don't forget the launch of the product on